a very big goal that you have stated. Get 120 million women voluntary contraception by 2020. You're a Roman Catholic. You were raised Roman Catholic, and some have said it runs counter to that. How do you wrestle with that?
So I grew up Catholic. I went through K through 12 through Catholic school. I'm still a practicing Catholic, but over 90% of Catholic women in the United States use contraceptives because we believe in them. I use them. And if we believe in them and what they do for our lives, shouldn't all women have access to those? And so it wasn't very hard for me to square those notions when I would hear literally the cries of women in the developing world, and they'd say to me, can't you see, I can't have more children. I have 4. I can barely feed these, much less educate them. Why can't I get that tool I used to have? Why can't I get what used to be for them is a shot in the arm? It's a matter of life and death for me and my children. And I thought, how could I, just because of my religious belief and something I'm actually doing and my friends are doing, how could I not bring that to the developing world? You have to.
Have you talked to the Pope about this?
I have not.
I know it's a long shot, but I wouldn't be surprised if you could get an audience with the Pope. I mean, would you like to have this conversation? Would that help?
I don't know if it would help, but I think the thing that we have very much in common with the Catholic Church and with the Pope, and particularly this Pope, is a focus on the poor. And I would love to have a conversation with him just about what I'm hearing on the ground from poor women. I think that it might help.
You've said here in the United States, in the Western world, we've made birth control and contraceptives too political.
Absolutely. And because we've made it political, what happened was, on the global stage, we pulled back from contraceptives as a world. So if you go back to the 1970s, there was consensus around giving contraceptives to women all over the globe. But then because of many issues, but mainly because it became politicized in the United States, everybody pulled back. And so why do you have now 200 million women that are telling us they want access to contraceptives, but they aren't available? It's because there's no funding for them. And so we got this back on the global agenda in 2012 because of its importance, but you have to fund it if you want to actually teach women about it and give them access.
You guys have also in the foundation been very data driven, and cell phones have been key in being able to track the data, what's working, what's not.
Absolutely, and in fact contraceptives is a perfect example, which is if I waited to get the household surveys on how we're doing on this contraceptive,
10 years, right?
Every 5 years I would get data. Can you imagine? But what we're doing actually is in Ghana and a whole host of countries, we're sending young women out, they're in their early 20s with cell phones, and they can track and go door to door and find out from women, were you taught about contraceptives? Was it voluntary? Did you have access? So I can now will be able to get data every month about contraceptive use.